Welcome to Module 2. Now that we understand the global concept, it is time to bring it home. In this module, we are going to walk through the practical steps of setting up your investment account right here in Nigeria, understanding our specific rules, and identifying the high weight of our economy. So stay tuned and get ready to learn how to set up your brokerage account and getting started in the Nigerian stock market. See you in my next video. All right, welcome. So this is what we are going to treat in this module. By the end of this section, you won't just have the head knowledge. You will know exactly which forms to fill, who to trust with your money, and how to place a trade without risking a kobo until you are ready. So in this module, we'll be looking at the process of choosing a stockbroker and opening a CSCS account. We also learn the structure of the Nigerian exchange, identify key Nigerian market sectors. We have different sectors, the banking, oil and gas, consumer goods sector. Recognize the role of these regulatory bodies like the Security Exchange Commission, that's the SEC, and the Nigerian Exchange Group. Then we also look at the logistics, the time the market open, the time the market closes, and understand the tax implications for your profit. That one is very important. And learn how to practice safely using paper trading. I'll see you guys in my next video. Welcome to this video. So in this video, we'll be talking about opening a brokerage account, and there are some terminologies we need to look into. The first one we have here is the stockbroker. A stockbroker is a licensed intermediary between the investor and the stock market. Now, one of the things you need to consider as you are investing in the capital market is to choose a very good stockbroker. A stockbroker that can allow you invest both in the foreign and the local markets. Then we're also going to look at the CSCS account. CSCS stands for Central Securities Clearing System. It's just like a bank vault for your what? For your shares, where you keep your shares. Then it holds your digital share certificate. And also you need to get your unique clearing house number. So every investor is entitled to this unique clearing house number, and it is being issued by your what? By your broker. And also you need to fulfill your KYC requirements that comprise of either you use your BVN, your utility bill, ID card, or photo passport. So these are the essentials, the things you need in order to open your brokerage account. See you guys in my next video. Alright, so in this video, we'll be looking at the market structure, the structure of the Nigerian stock market. Now, the Nigerian stock market is divided into 5 structure. We have the premium board. Now, this premium board comprises of the elite companies that have strict corporate governance rules, and they are highly capitalized. You know, in our previous video, I talked about market cap, which is a criteria that you need to look for before making your decision in the stock market. Now, examples of this highly capitalized market includes the Dangote Cement, MTN Nigeria, Airtel Africa, Zenith Bank, and the rest of them. Then the second one, we have the main board. These are established companies. The majority of listed stocks reside here, right? So we have established companies in Nigeria that are under the main board. Then we have the growth board. These are smaller, high growth potential companies. That's the SMEs, the small, high growth potential companies that that are promising. Then we also have the REIT and the ETFs. That's the real estate and exchange traded fund also lies here. So the meaning of ETF is what? Exchange traded funds and the real estate investment too. So these are the structures that you can see in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I'll see you in my next video. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome to this video. You might be asking a question. What if something happens to my money? What if this company decides to close down, is my money still safe? Yes, your money is safe. Now in this video we'll be talking about who protects your money. We have what we call SEC Nigeria, that's the Security and Exchange Commission. They are like the police, they are the apex regulator of the stock exchange market. They protect investors and regulate the market so that the big players in the market cannot trick or maneuver or manipulate, what is going on in the market. So they help to regulate and they help to protect the investors. Then we have the NGS registration code. They regulate the brokers and listing of what companies. So these are people that are in charge of regulating the brokers, people that serve as an intermediary between the stock exchange market and the investors. Then we also have the Investor Protection Fund, that's the IPF. They compensate investor if a brokerage firm fails, right? So these are people that make sure that your money and what are safe with you. Is a market a scam? Is stock exchange a scam? The answer is no, because it is heavily what regulated. And I've talked about how the SEC acts as the police, ensuring that no one is playing foul. The NGS also set up the rules of the game, and there is even an investor protection fund. It is structured, legal, and this environment is designed to protect you as an investor. So be rest assured that your investment is being what? Is being protected. So you don't have anything to fear about, right? I'll see you guys in my next video. Welcome to this video. So we are going to look at the top sectors in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Now, when it comes to trading stock in Nigeria, we have two analyses. We have the fundamental analysis and we have the technical analysis. When you come to the fundamental analysis, under the fundamental analysis, we have what we call the sector analysis. Now, you don't buy stock in all the sectors. There are some specific sectors that drive the growth of the economy. And I have a list of them here. We have the banking sector. They are called the liquidity what? King. There is a lot of cash flows from this sector. They trade high volume, they pay regular dividends. Examples, we have Zenith Bank, we have Wema Bank. Wema Bank did well this year, 2025, right? Wema Bank, then we have GT Co, we have UBA, and the rest of them. We have other banks. So the banking sector is one of the sectors you need to look out when you want to invest in the stock market. Then we have the industrial and construction sector. They are the market movers. When we talk about Dangote Cement, Bua Cement, building and construction companies, that has to do with, we have ROCC, we have DCC, and the rest of them. So you see that every time in Nigeria, there is one or two building construction projects going on, right? So I advise my client that when you want to invest in stock, just invest in companies that you use their products, one, and companies that produce goods and services on a daily basis. People demand, they have high demand on their output, on their products, right? Then we have consumer goods. Consumer goods has to do with everyday product like Nestle, Nigerian breweries, and the rest of them. Then also another sector you need to look into is oil and gas, the energy giants. We have the NMPC, we have the Seplat, we have the Total Energies, we have the Mobil, and the rest of them. And also you look into the telecommunication sector too, MTN Nigeria, Airtel Africa, and the rest of them. So in Nigeria, a few sectors dominate the market. We have the banks, I talked about it, which are the very active and liquid sector. You have industrials like Dangote, which move the entire market index, and you have telecoms like Airtel. As a beginner, it is usually safer to start with these well-known industry leaders. Now in 2026, Dangote have proposed to introduce Dangote refineries and Dangote fertilizer stock, right? Which it is going to be very juicy. So just stay with me. In the subsequent videos, I'll teach you how to do a proper fundamental analysis on picking a stock. I'll see you in my next video. So we're going to look at when and how to trade. Now, I would like you to know that the local market and the foreign market don't trade on the same time zone. They have different trading hours, right? For the Nigerian Stock Exchange or the local market opens by 10 a.m. and closes by 2:30 p.m. While the foreign stock exchange opens by 2:30 and closes by 10 p.m. And note that this market, they don't trade on public holidays. They don't trade during the weekend. That's once it's Saturday, Sunday, the market is closed. Now, for the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we say that all local stocks are priced in naira. And I told you guys that the reason why I advise that you diversify your portfolio as you are investing in the Nigerian stock, you're also investing in the foreign market, is so that you avoid the issue of inflation. That's the inflation factor. Investing helps hedge against the loss of naira purchasing power. So when you invest in a foreign company and you receive dividend and you convert it, you see that you have more money in naira, right? So it helps to protect your money from inflation. Then we also some smaller stock trade frequently. So you need to stick to these stocks, the liquid stocks that trade frequently. It's not all stocks that trade frequently. There are some stocks that trade little by little, and there are some stocks like the banking sector, they always liquid. They trade, if you can, it's easier for you to trade and get your cash immediately in such sectors, right? So these are the time frame, the trading hours for both the local and the foreign markets. I'll see you guys in my next video. So in this video, we are going to talk about what it will take, to trade in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the tax implication for investors. Now we're going to look at two types of tax that we have here. The first one is called the withholding tax. Now for the withholding tax, 10% is deducted automatically from your dividend, 10%. Then the good news is that this is usually the final tax on dividend for individuals. Then there's what we call capital gain tax. So if you invest in a stock, your capital grows, right? For your growing stocks. Now, before, the government encourages investors by not taxing them on their capital growth. But due to recent changes and reforms in the stock market and in the tax system, the government have decided to be taxing 10% on capital gain tax, and it's only applicable to people that have gains worth over 100 million naira. Then there are other costs that you also get when you transact on your brokerage account, like the brokers collect small fees, let's say 1.35% to 2% total when you buy or when you sell your stock. So when you place a buy or sell order, there is an amount of money that is being collected for that transaction. So these are the little fees that you need to be paying. That's why if you want to avoid this cost, you don't need to be buying and selling all the time, right? And it's when you buy, you wait for a long period of time before you sell. But if you are doing transactions all the time, you see that you keep on blessing your brokers, right? And that's how they make money, helping you to bridge the gap between the stock exchange market and you, which is the investor. So I'll see you guys in my next video. So in this video, we'll be talking about paper trading, or you can call it demo or practice account, right? So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, what is paper trading? Paper trading is a type of trading where you use fake money to trade in a real time using a real time market data, right? It's just like a practice account where you're seeing the market data and you trade, but your trade or the execution of that trade is a fake trade, right? It is used to test your patience, it is used to test your level of discipline. It is also used for you to be able to learn how to manage your emotions, because to be honest with you, it takes a whole lot of patience, discipline, and emotional control to actually make it in the stock exchange market. Then why do we do this? To test our emotional reaction when price drops. Sometimes if you invest your money and price go down and the market, let's say the price of your investment drops by 3%, you become scared, you want to sell. Hey, are you sure this thing is not going to go down to 0%? So it helps you to this demo account trading helps you, to put your emotions in check. And it also helps you to learn the broker app interface, right? We have different brokers and they use different apps. So it also helps you to learn about the app. Although I'm still going to do a video on how to use a particular app that will help you invest in both in foreign and local stock markets. Now, many Nigerian broker app offers demo accounts, right? So you can start with the demo, trade fake accounts and see how it feels, right? And also have that discipline. It will help you to put your emotions in check. So we'll be stopping here. In our next video, we'll continue from where we stopped. Thank you. Oh, wow, congratulations. Welcome to the last slide of module 2. So in this module, we'll be able to cover the role of the CSCS and choosing a broker with all the Nigerian Stock Exchange sectors. The Nigerian Stock Exchange sectors, the banking, the oil, and the consumer goods. And also, we also looked at the time, the trading hours, and we talked about the tax. So now, I want you to take actionable steps. First of all, you are going to download a brokerage app. We have Bamboo, we have Chaka, we have Trove, or a bank affiliated broker, and initiate the KYC process today. I want you to do this thing today, right? So download an app, a brokerage app. If you are my trainer, I believe you should have opened the Bamboo account, because the Bamboo app is a broker that helps you to invest both in Nigerian and foreign stocks. So I advise my clients to open the Bamboo app. It will help you diversify your portfolio, trade the US tech giants and the rest of them, right? So download Bamboo on your Play Store or your Apple Store and do your KYC today. Then as you continue to listen to other videos that you are still going to watch, I think I still have like 4 modules ahead of this one, right? You get to understand how to, and I'm still going to do a video on how to navigate the Bamboo app. So stay tuned and listen very, very well. See you guys in the next module.